what were you gonna talk about this week? Apart from Spellbreak.
I enjoyed Link's Awakening. The frame rate is a really bad issue, though. I thought they would have fixed that as well. But who knows? When we get more RAM for the new Switch, maybe it's not going to be such a big issue in the future.
You wouldn't think it was such a taxing game, though, would you?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I think that's an Unreal Engine 4 game.
Yeah, it is.
Which, Yoshi was as well, and that didn't have a perfect frame rate. So maybe that explains something. I've been doing the same as Greg, really. I've been playing Super Mario All-Stars. I've been playing a lot of SNES games this week, actually. It's been the main thing I've played on the Switch. I've added 10 hours over the last week to my Switch SNES online games. I beat Super Mario Bros. 1, which I posted about in the forum, and enjoyed a lot. It took me about 40 minutes. I was using rewinds. I beat Super Mario Bros. 2 in about 3 hours, I think, altogether, in a couple of stages. And I used rewinds for that as well. I do want to go back. I was doing them both handheld, so I want to go back and do it properly on the screen with a decent D-pad in the future. But Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels, I started playing that without rewinds, and I think I did about the first 4 worlds without rewinds, and I did the 128 lives thing at the beginning of the first world. I don't know if you've seen that, if you know how to do that. The first set of blocks, basically, there's a trick you can do to get 128 lives. I thought I'll probably complete this game with that many lives, be all right. Did the end of the 4th world. I think I'd lost about 10 or 11. And then the back half of the game, I was like, right, I can't be bothered. I'm just going to use rewinds now. The last sort of 3 worlds were extremely difficult, and it was silly mistakes that I was making, really, because I was trying to rush through it. I think if I'd taken my time a little bit more and didn't have access to rewinds, I would have been a lot more careful. And I really angered myself, because I created a save at the beginning of the 7th world, and when I was on Bowser's Castle, I was using rewinds so much that I accidentally loaded my save from the start of World 7. So I didn't finish the game, and I had to do World 7A again. But eventually I did it. Bowser's Castle is really interesting because there's a lot of tricky stuff. In fact, it's quite common in all of the worlds at the end of Super Mario Bros. 2, the Lost Levels, sorry, that they play a lot of tricks on you, and you have to find the right path to get to the end of the level.
Yeah, they did it a few times in the original as well, like at the last Bowser's Castle, for example.
Ran out of time a couple of times, but obviously eventually I figured it all out, and I beat it. I did it. I finished. I beat Bowser. And then I was like, oh, wow, I've beaten the hardest Mario game. Okay, I cheated a little bit with using rewinds and saves, but I did it. And then it's World 9-1. And I was like, nope, no thanks. I'm done with this. So I've got apparently another 4 worlds to go through, I think, at least, which I'm not looking forward to if they're going to be extremely difficult. Those trampolines that throw you miles into the air are absolutely ridiculous.
And they got the wind blowing you behind, haven't you? And you got to land on this tiny block.
The hardest thing for me in the whole of Super Mario Bros. 2 is trying to jump from a single block. So there's a couple of times where you have one single block and you basically have to stand right on the edge of it and get enough momentum to reach up to something else. That is where the saves came in super handy, because without them, I don't think I would have done this in 128 lives. And I think playing this game without save states as a kid, I don't think I would have finished this or even come anywhere close to it. So it's a bit of a blessing that we've got the save states. And I actually really like this game. I think it's really challenging, and it's like a collection of good levels from Mario Maker. I think there's some really interesting ideas, especially in the later worlds, and some really tricky little jumps and things that you have to do. And I can see from this game where the inspiration from Mario Maker came. And I think that's really cool. And it still holds up really well. It's classic Mario, so it controls perfectly. And I just had a lot of fun with it. And I will go back and I'll complete the other worlds. I will maybe try one day, sit down for a couple of hours and try to go through it without using saves. Yeah.
You can buy the new Game and Watch.
No,
That's
thanks.
got,
No, not
both
interested.
Super Mario
Not
Brothers and
interested.
Super Mario Brothers 2 on
No
it.
way.
You've actually really worried me there, because I played through the original, which I had downloaded on the Wii Virtual Console, the original Lost Levels game, and like I played through that game, and like World 8 was like nearly impossible, like playing it legitimately, and I eventually did it.
Well done.
And I'm sort of wondering what you're talking about, World 9-1, because I don't remember seeing anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like gonna have to load it up and see if there's something there, because like in my eyes the game is finished. Like,
Does it go straight into 9-1?
Yeah. I remember reading something on the forum.
Are you playing on
All Stars?
You're playing on the All Stars
yeah.
one. Maybe it was added to the All Stars. I'll have to look that up. You played on the original.
it's the NES
One.
version, yeah.
Ah, okay. Maybe
I'm
it was
sure
added.
I remember either Sam or Glenn mentioning something about extra worlds on the forum, so I'll have to go back and read that
That could be it.
page. But yeah, apparently there is more stuff to do. There's like World 9, 10, I think A and B as well, or something as well. There's some lettered worlds. I could be wrong. Can't quite remember. And then obviously I've got Super Mario Brothers 3 to do next. And in between playing Mario All-Stars, I've been playing Yoshi's Island. And I had completely forgotten what an incredible game that is. I absolutely love it. I think I'm coming up to the end of the second world. And I've just been absolutely loving the different levels and ideas that they've got in that game. And it's such a contrast to Super Mario World. The 100, like getting 100 points on each level, like finding the 20 coins, the flowers, and then having enough stars, which is the hardest thing at the end of the level, really adds something to the game. And I remember, I think it was in a Nintendo World Report I was listening to. I know Greg's a big fan of Yoshi games. And people complain that Yoshi games are too easy. And yeah, you could probably say that. I'm sure I could blast through Yoshi's Island in a few hours like I have been with the other Mario games. But the games, when you're going for 100 points, they are really, really, really hard to find everything and to not get hit before the end of the level as well. So you've got the 30 stars. I think this one, out of all the others that I've played, like Yoshi's Story and Woolly World, this is definitely much harder to finish at every level.
Because you've got to do it all
completely.
in one run,
You
haven't
do,
you? You
yeah.
can't pick up
Can't
some
go back and
in
get them
the
again.
newest ones, for example.
So-
you can just pick up and finish the level, and you don't have to pick those up again.
I think I got 6 levels at 100 points on the first world. And the other 2 I've tried a couple of times and not having much luck. I haven't been using save states with this. I've been playing it legitimately. I think about 3 hours I've put into it. And yeah, I haven't played this since 1995, 6, when I got it for the Super Nintendo. So it's been really nice to go back to this. I'd forgotten so much about it. The art style, the music, everything it's like peak Super Nintendo. This is like the best they could do, basically. I think it's an absolutely fantastic game. A little bit frustrating, but
There is so much I like about it, but it's probably one of my least favorite Yoshi games, actually. Like I love the music and the visuals and stuff too, but there's just something about the overall game design that I don't really enjoy. And there's definitely a few levels that just feel like a slog to me. There's particularly ones where it's like, you have a locked door and you have like 4 different ways to go or whatever, and you have to do that.
a lot of puzzle elements
generally
and stuff like that to it, isn't
Yeah,
there?
like I generally prefer sort of like straight up platforming rather than lots of puzzles and stuff. And yeah, Yoshi probably does have more puzzly elements than I would have liked. But yeah, like I've played through it a couple of times before, and like you're almost making me want to go and play it on the actual SNES version of it, because I've only ever played like the Game Boy Advance version. Yeah.
Sitting there on the SNES app, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You make me want to go and play it as well. So, yeah, that can be another game you could put into the 50th podcast episode for our pod pals. If you want to go and play that as well and tell us what you think about it, we'll gladly add it to Nick's comments as well. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the Any Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.